Hey, what's up, guys? This is Joe Nyce, and I'm here to talk to you about our upcoming Heart and Hustle Leadership Camp. For the past 15 years, I've been a police officer, the last 3 in which I'm the SRO at Harrison High School, so I get to work with kids on a daily basis. I'm a father of 3, and I've been a youth football coach for the past 9 years. I'm an entrepreneur, and a lot of the lessons that I've learned along the way in my 42 years on this planet started in youth sports, and more specifically, the game of football. So when I came up with my idea for my Heart and Hustle Leadership Camp a couple of years ago, I didn't just want to do football skills and drills. I wanted to give the kids the skills that they needed, not just on the field, but more importantly, off the field, to become leaders and kids, student athletes of high character that are going to take them throughout the rest of their lives. When I decided to do this camp, the first person I thought about was Kohlasch. He's a thought leader, a life strategist, business coach, just a great guy. He also happens to be a state championship winning quarterback. This camp is different, guys. It's not like your normal football camp. We had our first one 2 years ago, and the feedback was tremendous. The kids learned so much, and we were set to have our second one last year, but unfortunately it was canceled because of COVID. This year, we have reached out to some tremendous names locally in the area. We're going to have some counselors from local high schools that are juniors and seniors that these kids are going to be aspiring to be like one day. We have a sponsorship. Harrison Football Hall of Fame has sponsored the camp. We're also co-sponsored by Go Lift Strength and Conditioning Program, located right inside SUNY Purchase, which is going to be the location of our camp this year. We're going to give these kids a college experience. They're going to be playing on a college field. They're going to be in college classrooms. Lunch is going to be sponsored every day by Wellington's Grill. This is a tremendous opportunity and experience for your child to do something that's going to make a tremendous impact in his or her life. Pete?
Yeah, I tell you, I can't be more excited to be a part of this. As Joe said, my name is Pete Kohlasch. I'm a high performance coach. I'm a life strategist. I'm a motivational speaker. And I'll tell you what I do now today is I work with men and women who by anyone's standards are successful and so on and so forth. And I help them to get to the next level. I help them to look at things that they otherwise wouldn't look at in their personal and their professional lives. And I think back, a lot of the most distinct, the most impactful lessons that I learned came as a product of playing Harrison football. Basketball and baseball certainly as well, but football, as I'm sure most of you are watching this, I think there's just something different about the sport of football. So when Joe had reached out to me and shared with me his idea about the camp, I was intrigued, but I said, I don't know that 10 to 14-year-olds are my demographic per se. But then he started talking to me a little bit about how this camp is different. And he said, yeah, Pete, listen, we want to teach them skills and drills on the field, but we also want to do character and leadership development off the field. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I really focus on with my work is curriculum development. So it's not just rah-rah with the clients that I work with. It's understanding the processes and the systems and the habits and the behaviors that produce positive change. And so, Joe and I put our heads together, as he said, 2 years ago, helped him to flush out the curriculum so that, again, on the field, the kids were having fun. They were learning how to separate themselves on the field, skills and drills. But most importantly, they were learning how to win and become fine young men off the field. And I couldn't be more excited. As Joe said, we were shut down last year because of COVID. And this year's camp, we looked at everything and we said, okay, we had a great first year. How do we get better, right? How do we live our own message? And so we looked at some of the things that we were doing on the field and we said, well, we really want to not only help the kids that are there, we want to build community. We want these kids to meet other kids from other communities. And we also wanted to feature, and we're going to be doing it this year. We're so excited. Feature some of the most influential football coaches and minds in the area. So on the field, these kids are going to be working with some of the greatest coaches, some of the older coaches who are already in the Hall of Fame, some of the newer upcoming coaches, so that they can be inspired and led and coached by other men and women in the community that I'm sure they will certainly respect and always remember this camp. And then off the field, as Joe said, we're at a college facility. We're going to be on a college football field. We're going to be in college classrooms. So off the field, again, looking at things that you might say, well, they're only 10 to 14. Do they really need to look at that? Yes, they're in such a developmental age of their lives. Now is the time to start looking at this. Things like, how do you win the morning, right? You win the morning, a couple of smaller things in the morning, all of a sudden has a big impact on the course of your day. right? Things like self-awareness, self-assessment, self-inventory, things like clarity and goal setting and visualization. You know, a lot of the things that, regardless if you're 10 to 14 or if you're 30 to 40, these are the things that are true separators. And we're so excited to feature it at this camp. They're going to get their own workbook. As Joe said, lunch is sponsored each day. They're going to be working with some of the greatest minds in the area. And we've really got a special experience in store for them. Couldn't be more excited. As Joe said, August 7th and 8th, it's a Saturday and Sunday lunch sponsored both days. They get a bag. They just get a lot of really, really cool stuff. We're going to have speakers on the field. So they're going to feel like, you know, who they are. We're going to build them up over the course of these 2 days. We're going to have a lot of fun. They're going to learn a lot. And, you know, you got to see some of the feedback and some of what the parents had to say and the kids had to say about our first camp. And again, we've looked at everything and we're just looking at, well, how can we make it better now? So, Joe, let them know where they can register. And certainly if they have any questions, where they can reach out. So we make sure we really get this camp filled with the right young men who are aspiring to be leaders on and off the field.
Sure, guys. You can register at www.joenyce.com/camp. That's www.joenyce.com/camp. You can register right on that link. Like Pete said, I've been a certified motivational speaker through the #1 speaker in the world, Eric Thomas, also known as E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, for the past 4 years. And one of the things I've learned through him is motivation only gets you so far. It's the systems that are going to take you to the next level. So like Pete said, we're not just going to rah-rah them. We're going to give them the systems that they can take with them from 10 years old all the way through the rest of their life to take them to the next level. And we hope we see you guys at the camp.